Let me get this before we start, yo.
The body?
Yeah. Nah. The audio's on. Don't say that.
What? Oh.
Don't say what it is.
I don't know, you started the camera. Am I grabbing? What am I grabbing?
Nah, right there. You're good.
You
Just
good?
back up. Yeah. Watch his leg. Watch your
hold
cords.
on,
Don't
hold on.
trip. Don't trip.
Don't fuck the cords up.
Don't trip. Come on.
Don't end the podcast.
Yeah, some fucking guest he was, huh? He's fucking had to start running his mouth.
Fuck.
Alright, now get back over here.
The lights.
Beef board all set up. Alright, you ready?
Damn, are you ready? Knocking shit over. Look, it's extra bright.
Yo, welcome to the No Limit Podcast, aka the Smoke and Some Podcast, here with the Loner Stoner, Any Bull, and the Hothead Pothead. No Limit Eddie, what up?
That was a good intro.
Yep, Dan,
Wow.
I'm just going to let the people know that a few weeks ago, we recorded an episode, and we never turned the video on, so for a brief second here, I'm going to go walk, make sure we're not running into that dilemma again,
Yeah,
and Any
fuck
Bull's
that.
going to run down the topics for you.
I'm not gonna let that happen again. That was what, the NFL episode? So this week we're gonna talk about, so The Rock's a rapper. We're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about The Rock rapping. The Many Saints of Newark, the controversial new movie out, the Sopranos prequel, and the last one was one celebrity, I guess we're gonna go with one that you would revive, like one
Right.
celebrity you would bring back from the dead to, I guess, continue like what they were doing, like
Yeah,
impact the
they're
world,
not
right?
coming back with a whole new mindset. They're the same guy or girl.
All right, yeah, we'll get into that though. That'd be the last one that we get into.
So first one we're going to do is The Rock's
The
new
Rock.
song. You think it's hot, right?
So, all right,
Hold
actually,
on.
we've got to look up the name of it. Maybe we were talking about it outside, but no, I don't.
You don't think The Rock's hot?
No, no. The Rock's a good-looking dude, but he sucks as a rapper. What's it? It's Technine.
Yeah, The Rock
Technine
with
and The Rock.
Technine. While you're looking that up, I want to briefly touch on, don't want this to be a topic because it's one of those things that's talked about everywhere already, so you're not going to come here to hear about it again.
Okay.
But popular in social media, popular across the internet waves right now is the relationship between Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox. I see a
Yeah.
lot of interaction about that. And we've been talking a lot of wrestling on this podcast the last few weeks.
Sure.
And I just want to make it known right now, real quick, that all they're doing, Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox, is the Edge and Lita rated R superstar gimmick. They are copying the exact prototype of that gimmick designed by probably Vince McMahon.
That's such a funny connection, but that's really what they're doing.
It definitely is.
Almost verbatim. Like they have the same sense of style almost,
It's the
the
same
same
deal.
swagger.
It's the same deal.
It's the same thing. It's like carbon copies. It's actually pretty. And Rated R Superstar and Lita worked. Mm-hmm. Like it got the crowd going, just like they are.
Exactly.
Everyone loves them. Everybody thinks they're the hottest right now.
We
Right?
talked about it a little before. It probably started for real, like a real relationship, like you said. And
Yeah.
then somebody who's behind
Somebody
them with
fucking
money,
Vogue was like,
because they're two stars,
wow.
said, oh, you should start
Yeah.
being real edgy, being real over the top, being extra sexy. Rated R superstar.
I
It's
think the person from Vogue went, wow.
exactly that.
They
I
definitely
would
did.
love to see Machine Gun Kelly take a spear from Edge at WrestleMania.
He'd probably go in half. He would probably literally saw him in half.
Yeah, definitely.
He's like, what's that movie? The football movie? It's like Not Another Team movie when he gets cut in half on the field. I don't know if you have any idea what I'm talking about.
I know that movie, but I don't know that well.
Yeah, it's like
you watched it
it's
last
like the
night.
dumb dude's like, oh, and he's like open for the touchdown. And he catches the ball and he finally gets it, and then they fucking tackle him from this way and this way. It saws him in half.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, how they just blew up. I feel like they were Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox were both stars who fell off the face of the earth, and then all of a sudden they come back as Conor McGregor trying to sneak them at the Oscars and shit. You know what I mean? Out of nowhere, they're the two most
I
famous
think
people in
that's a
pop
little,
culture.
Fabricated as well.
What?
The McGregor trying to sneak him.
He did.
He did. I saw it, but it's planned, dude. It's all planned.
You think that was planned?
Not to the fullest extent. It's
Nah,
like they blur the lines a little bit.
Conor McGregor was embarrassed about that
But
one.
our original topic is the guy who really brought that opportunity to Hollywood and to other wrestling stars who crossed over to Hollywood, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah, The
He's
Rock
by
really
far
did
the
break
most
through.
famous former wrestler that's out there in the media, cinema world. And
Dude, he's like globally famous.
he opened the doors. He opened the doors.
Like
for
even the
real.
movies he does, like San Andreas and like all those like dumb action movies, they do so well overseas because you don't need to pay attention to what's being said. You just like if you want to go see an American movie overseas, you just see The Rock, this big like American dude, just destroying shit, killing people, like flying helicopters. Like that's the movie. You know what I mean? So all those movies, Transformers, all those movies do so well overseas. So he's like global. He's like mega famous. Like I don't think any wrestler ever again will get the level of fame and like, because he's only gonna get bigger. You know, like he's got clothes. He's got a clothesline. He's a former wrestler. He's an A-list celebrity.
Is No Bull his? Do you know that? Those shoes that say No Bull on them? I think they're horrible shoes, by the
Under
way.
Armour?
They might be Under Armour.
His sponsorships
They
for Under
say
Armour.
No Bull on them.
It might
No
be.
B-U-L-L.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, I think that is him.
It might be, but I
Yeah,
don't
he
know.
makes
I
training
just think
shoes.
that's a weird-ass shoe.
I think I don't even think the clothes are that nice. Like, I
You
mean,
know,
like,
you know what we're discovering right now?
What's that?
The Rock is no limit.
The Rock is no limit.
The Rock does
Now
everything.
he's tackling rap.
Yep.
He's done it all. He's like,
What's the song name again?
Face Off.
Face Off.
Dude, it's terrible.
Technine.
Technine.
Technne. Featuring The Rock.
Also, I'm saying it's terrible, like, to me, right? Like we all say, like last week we were talking about comedians we didn't think are funny. Like that's all subjective. It's all opinionated. Like that's my opinion, right?
But it is bad, though.
It is bad.
No, this one is bad.
But like somebody out there is listening to it and they're like, fucking like rock on.
Here's
Like that is.
it matches
They're like, yo, this
the
shit's
verse.
fire.
The verse matches The Rock's brand. Because in the same way that
Devour
those
Power,
No Bull
it's-
shoes, the No Bull shoes, even if they're not The Rock, they match the same brand. So I will
Sure.
talk about them. Like a dude who's wearing that shoe and like a Rock T-shirt in the gym, he's like too hype. Too hype. He thinks that he should be hyper than he actually should be. Like
a great
he
way to
signed
put
up
it.
for the gym and he's thinking like, oh, how should I act when I'm in the gym? And then he sees this whole Rock brand of like super alpha mentality, super like, whoo, in the mirror. And he's like,
Yeah.
well, I better go out and buy some of that shit so I look like I'm doing the right thing. Then they build up a little bit of muscle. They're in these fucking bull tees and they're standing in front of the mirror at a Planet Fitness fucking, whoo.
It's always like a Planet Fitness and shit too.
That's
It's
what it
always
is.
like
Yeah, it's always like that. So
I wish you could play the song
that
right
is what
now.
the verse is. That is the epitome of the Rock verse, though. Like someone who's going so fucking hard because he walked in the booth and was like, "Oh, how do I rap hard?" and just went too hard. It's like it's got to be a hard rap, so I just got to do this,
dude. And it's like, did you see the video?
Yeah,
He's like walking through. It's like he's like walking through like a wrestling tunnel to like this like screen. The stage they have like the bowl in the back. He goes after it though. Like props to him. Like
he goes after it.
He goes
and
after it.
one
He's
moment in the
"Ah."
video, that right there, that's such a good moment. I don't know what about that made me like, well, that was cool.
I did the same thing, yo. I did the
everything
same
he
thing.
said was so corny and just too over the top.
I'm dead ass. I was.
And when
literally-
he went like this in the video, I was like, oh, that's kind of
watching
cool.
it. I was on the toilet. I'm watching it. I'm like, dude, this is ass. And then that part came. I was like, that's pretty lit. I was like, that was a cool part. I really did think that.
I'm gonna steal that. Like,
Yeah, I was like, that was interesting actually. That like made it cool. But like, as I was watching, I was like, wow, this is dog shit. Then that little part came at the end. I was like, well, he's still The Rock. And like, yeah, like that is definitely like on brand for The Rock because like it's all like,
and it's sort of supposed to be dog shit.
why?
Like you don't see
no
The
way,
Rock
though.
featuring and expect it to be really good.
But there's no. You think The Rock really played that back and was like, yeah, that was banging.
No,
That was
but
a
he
good
thought in his
version.
mind that it's good enough and it sounds professional.
I don't see. I think that he's now reaching the point where his content can slip, and he's more about just he wants himself out there. Like, he doesn't care about what he's making. You know what I mean?
I
like,
think that
the content of that song, like, he doesn't care what that's like. As long as the song gets 5 million views, is what he wants. He doesn't care what.
I think that the brand of the verse, like the overarching theme of the verse, matches his brand perfectly in everything else that he does in all the other ventures that we talked about, movies, footwear, clothes. It matches, and the quality of sound is professional and up to the Rock standards. And as long as the verse doesn't make him sound like a complete and utter idiot, he was going to be cool with it.
Yeah, he didn't say
as long as he didn't sound like off beat or anything like that.
No, it was just lame.
Yeah,
and he wasn't off beat or anything. Like, he definitely fit like into the song. It was just.
Can you pass me that one?
It was just kind of lame.
Yeah.
But what did you expect? Like we said, like from the fucking, he's the 50-year-old Rock.
Did you hear Technine's part of that song, or did you only see the? I only saw the video that was circulating.
I don't think I know
a
single Technine song. But dude, all those dudes like
Technine. This is what I had this in my mind since we fucking announced this as a topic. If you told me that Dwayne The Rock Johnson was doing a feature on a rap artist song, and you gave me 25 guesses, I wouldn't be able to get it right. But as soon as you told me, no, it's Technine, I would be like, I believe you.
Of course.
That's exactly who I would expect Dwayne Johnson to hop on a song with, Technine.
How do you think that?
Because he's just like him in a certain way. Like, he raps over the top. He's a little too hard. He tries too hard.
You know what?
But some people like that.
You shouldn't rap in your 40s.
Is he over 40?
Who, Technine?
Yeah, I don't know much about him. I just know that he
bro.
goes a little too hard for my taste.
I just think that you shouldn't. I just, like, I feel like your ability to, I think it's a young man's game, a young man and woman's game. Your ability to connect with that sort of, like, culture.
Here's a boy Technine would say, twist your neck off with a hacksaw.
Yeah, dude, like, it's, but like his, like, your shit starts to get lame, you know what I mean? Like, what rapper's good into their 40s and 50s? I can't think of one.
Dude, Eminem's fire.
Dude, Venom's a banger, though. You want to talk about the absolute reverse, the complete opposite of Not Afraid is Venom. Venom's a fucking anthem,
Venom,
bro.
the song that's just like Venom.
Bro, banging. Venom's a fucking banger. Instant beef with anybody who doesn't like Venom.
And instant beef with anybody who likes Not Afraid.
Correct.
Not Afraid's such a better song than Venom, but that's a topic for another day.
You're out of your skull. You're out of your skull. I share a birthday with Eminem. So
really?
I share a birthday with Eminem, so I feel like I would know better than you.
My grandma's birthday is tomorrow. Shout out to her. On the day that this is being filmed. It's tomorrow.
Shout out. Happy birthday.
What was I going to say? One more thing about The Rock before we move on.
That he's pretty much just killing life?
No. Dude, I want to hear more John Cena music. The album he put out when we were young bucks was low-key tough.
You want to talk about that album, bro? I used to listen to that album on repeat, playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 all
with the
day.
WWE Championship on the front. That was a fire
John Cena
album.
and the trademark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, banger. Just another day of my life. Yo, bro, that album had heaters
John
on
Cena went hard on that, for real. The song with Bumpy Knuckles, banger.
Bad man.
Yeah.
Where the mic? Get my hands on my bad man. Yeah, bro. That was good, yo.
Low key, that album was tough by John Cena.
And it was a one and done. He never made another album.
Never made another album,
It's
never
got like
spit
20
another
songs
rap.
on it, though.
I would love to hear a song with John Cena featured on it. And not even for the shock value. I would go listen for the John Cena
rapping
verse.
on it, because he was like rapping on that
Yeah,
album.
but now he's over 42. He's not the same young buck
And you
that
know,
he was.
he would honestly make a verse somehow worse than The Rock's, I feel like, if he really rapped. Because he would try to do that same, like, I'm a global phenomenon now. I'm not really John Cena anymore. I'm more of like a face for, like, children to look up to. That's really what it is. Like, that's
Making
John
sure
Cena's
the
whole
kids eating Fruity Pebbles.
Dude, what happened to John Cena?
Never give up.
We really have been talking about wrestling a lot, but really, what the fuck happened to John Cena?
He's back.
But now he's starting
With
to
a
be like a
bald
Rock.
spot.
He's starting to be like a Rock. Where he's starting to, like, catapult
Transcend.
himself.
Yeah, he is. And he's going to be the second biggest ever, too. He really is.
No one's ever going to reach The Rock's level. John Cena will be like president one day.
Low key, though, Batista is tough in Hollywood, too. He has a lot of good roles.
Well, he's got Guardians of the Galaxy, so now Guardians of the Galaxy just put him on the map.
Yeah.
Because it was like the perfect role for him.
And for him, I feel like it didn't have much to do with WWE. He did it on his own.
Nah.
Because
Guardians of the Galaxy,
he was always a star, but he was always definitely behind John Cena as far as the guy being pushed to the next stratosphere.
Yeah. Yeah, he just got put on the map by Guardians. Good for him. Even though I wasn't a fan of him. Shout out last week's episode if you listened.
So, it has now come time for us to switch over to the
Yeah, I
second
think there's
topic.
enough wrestling talk for like at least another 2 podcasts.
Let's wrestle with this. Many Saints of Newark. I'm going to put my neck out there on the line, contrary to the popular public opinion, and say it's a solid film.
Now, I don't know if that's contrary to public opinion because I believe it's got good critical acclaim.
It's got a 71 on Rotten Tomatoes, which right in this day and age, a 71 to like an 82 is a range that I will trust that movie to be so fucking good, because any movie that has a 90 or above when it first comes out, I know you paid. You paid to get it, because you know that people look for that and they judge that so strongly when they decide which movies to watch. You paid to get your movie over a 90-something, because I've seen more 90-plus Rotten Tomato movies that fucking blow in the last 2 years than I can count.
You're snapping.
But
you
if
really
you
have
get
seen
like
them.
a 70 to an 83, I know that it's a healthy mix of good ones, maybe some middle ones, but it's real. So I like those lately.
Now, I kind of agree with you. Now, I don't know if it's as extreme as you're saying, but I definitely agree with you that like I've enjoyed a lot more movies where I look up the Rotten Tomato score and it's like 48. Like, how was that a 48? I fucking love that movie. And then like movies that are like at 82, I'm like, oh, those are good. But then again, like, does that also have to play in, like, if you see a Rotten Tomato score for a 95, you're like, oh, this movie has to be banging, I can't wait to enjoy it. And if you see a movie that has like a 58, you're like, oh, this will be stupid. But then you're like, oh, that was actually pretty good. It definitely skews your opinion.
What's your minimum?
My minimum for, I'll watch anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Will you watch a movie to see how bad it is?
No, like if I know it's terrible.
I know
like this movie. All right, so
cinephiles, that's what you call people who watch like insane amount of movies, right?
I call them movie watchers.
I think you call them cinephiles, but
People who watch
there's
movies?
a group of them, or people who watch movie watchers, who will watch bad movies on purpose just to enjoy how bad they are made.
I think that's corny. Like, to like seek that out. Like, I can't wait to see how terrible this dude made this. Like, that's kind of
Like B movies and stuff like that.
all right, but who are you? You know what I mean? Like people are at least like trying. They're going and trying. You're sitting there watching them and critiquing them. You know what I mean? I don't know if I hate all reviewers and anything like that. Like people who make money off of just sitting back and like shitting on other people's projects and stuff like that. I think that's a lame way to. I'm saying lame a lot on this podcast. I'm really laming shit out.
Now I want to ask you real quick, as we move into the direct
With that being
topic.
said, write a review for this podcast on Apple, please. What's up?
As we move into the direct topic of Many Saints of Newark, I just want to ask you a question about Sopranos, because I didn't watch the show Sopranos.
Oh, real quick, I just want to, because the ratings are
movie.
6.4 out of 10 on IMDb, 72% Rotten Tomatoes, and a 60% Metacritic. So it's a pretty like average film,
right,
on paper. So all right, so go ahead.
Do you know that Tony? You're gonna find this out in the very first second of the movie.
It's about him as a kid,
right? But do you know that in the show? Because I haven't seen the show, that Tony kills Christopher Moltisanti. Doesn't he do that in the show? Does that happen in the show?
I didn't get that far.
What, in
Does
Sopranos,
that happen like in the last
show?
season? Yeah, I didn't watch like the last 2 seasons. I think I watched up to season 4.
Well,
but dude, I'm also horrible with TV.
Well,
like,
look,
I can't.
this
I just can't do it.
Yeah, so this is going to be.
I like Sopranos.
This is going to be a spoiler for you, but if you watch the movie, it would have been a spoiler anyway, because they say it literally in the first 5 minutes of the movie. The narrator of the movie is Christopher Moltisanti, who's a character in the show. Correct?
Is it the actual guy?
The narrator.
Yeah, is it the guy who
you don't
played
see
him?
him at all?
Yeah, but is it the guy who played him?
I don't know the voice. I don't know. Probably.
Then how do you know it was him?
Because they say who he is. He says, I'm Christopher Moltisanti, or says something that says I'm Christopher or something.
Well, that makes sense because Christopher probably heard these stories from Tony. And, like, the movie is Christopher telling somebody the story, I imagine. Or,
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? So,
that is what it is. But he opens the film and he says, here's my Uncle Tony, and the camera pans on him, and it says, and it's him as a baby, Tony, and he says, he choked me to death. So there goes your spoiler. That happens in the show. Sorry to break it to you, but the movie would have broke it to you anyway. Christopher Moltisanti is the narrator of the movie. You never see him. It's about young Tony. Starts him off as a baby. That's like very brief. There's a scene that I kind of like. One thing that I like about the movie is that it does make comments on today's society, which in film school they teach you that. They say that your film should make some type of comment on today's society, but sometimes it's hard to smash that in there when you're trying to just put a story together. It's hard to smash in a commentary on what's going on today in not a corny way.
And this movie's set in the 70s, right?
Yeah, so there was a few, like in the beginning there was one like with the mom smoking near the baby, couple scenes like that where there's some good wordplay and a dialogue and everything, and they talk about some stuff. So that's like the first commentary on what's going on in society back then, in the 70s when it's set, was when he's a baby. He's a baby for a short amount of time, then they move on. He's a toddler for a little bit. Then the main points of the movie are when he's in middle school and then when he's high school. So middle school Tony and high school Tony.
And high school Tony's when he gets recruited into like the mob kind of.
Basically, but he doesn't really, to be honest with you, the movie doesn't follow him being recruited into the mob. The movie more follows Dickie Moltisanti, who is Christopher's dad.
Ah, okay. So the movie's about him.
Yeah, so the movie follows Dickie Moltisanti more than anybody else.
Gotcha.
But he is an influence on Tony.
Right.
Growing up.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, one scene that I really love from the movie, and this is an example of a scene of why I would say it's a quality film, is there's this kid who owes the family money. What's the name of the family, the crime family?
Sopranos? Nah, I don't know.
Maybe the Moltisanti crime family, whatever. He owes Dickie Moltisanti money because he's the one who really collects it all.
Okay.
But there's this black character who's also a main character in the film who works for Dickie in the beginning, and he has to go collect the money off people. So 2 weeks in a row, this young kid, another black character, doesn't pay him the money. So then Dickie says to the mafia guy, the black guy who's working with the mafia, he says, if I were you, I'd feel terrible about myself. Like, I'd be embarrassed that this guy didn't show with my money, little street kid or something. So he goes, chases the kid down to kill him. Not Dickie, the black dude that's working with the mafia. The kid runs into a military recruitment thing and sits down with the general or whatever. And they go back and forth a little bit, and he's just trying to hide. And he's like, yeah, man, like I would love to go to Vietnam. I think I'm really set for it. And the general's like telling him all this other shit. So then the mob guy breaks in and shoots him with a shotgun, the young kid, right in front of the general. Shoots him with a shotgun. And the general's like, I didn't start this war. And it's just a commentary of like, and it's just a commentary on the times again.
That's
like,
it? That's all he has to say. This kid just got blown away.
And he's like, I didn't start this war or something. Because the reason that he says it is because he thinks that the time is set in the 70s when there's protests of the war going on.
Yeah.
So the general assumes that I hate that I keep calling him the mafia black guy, but I just can't remember his name. And there's two black characters in this scene, so I gotta label him that. He's assuming that the mafia black guy is protesting the war, and that's why he runs in there and shoots the kid who's signing up for war. So he still legitimately believes that the young gang member who was beating him for money was legitimately wanting to sign up for the war. So then when he gets shot, he puts his hands up and says, I didn't start this war, because he doesn't want the guy to shoot him in protest of the war. But it's a commentary. On the fact that that's what happened back then. They got all these young kids, a lot of black kids, sent them over to Vietnam for a war that they didn't need to fight, and they got killed.
That's still crazy.
So in that little scene, without saying those words that I just said, they said that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
They said that we sent these kids over to Vietnam, they got killed in a war they didn't fight, just by that little scene. So there's a lot of stuff like that where they make good commentary on social aspects without saying it directly that I enjoyed, that I think makes it a good movie.
Now, there's a few people that I talk to. Oh, I don't want to fuck none up. We still going?
Yeah, we're solid.
There's a few people like that I talk to, and like their opinions like I hold in a higher regard, like when it comes to like entertainment or whatever. And they're also Sopranos fans. They've seen it. Like my brother's a huge Sopranos fan. He said it sucked. Like he said it was terrible. It was garbage. Like used harsh words. Other people told me they didn't like it, like they weren't a fan of it, they didn't think it was well. And then I saw like all over Twitter, like people were talking about like how it was shit. So like I haven't heard anybody say it was good until you told me it was good. That's why I was like, oh damn, I really want to watch it. And then I kind of just fucked up, and then I got drunk instead. And watched
I think
football.
the thing is that people who have such a strong attachment to The Sopranos, there must be something about it that they don't like
helps if you
because
haven't seen Sopranos, I'm sure.
because it doesn't fulfill what they wanted out of the movie.
Exactly.
That's the way I felt about the Entourage movie, because I watched Entourage from season 1 to the end, and then I watched the movie and it just didn't fulfill what I wanted from the movie.
And you know, funny you mentioned that about Entourage. I watched the whole show
Entourage.
years ago. I watched the whole show maybe like 6 or 7 years ago, and I haven't seen it since. So I feel like if I watch the movie now, I'm really gonna enjoy the movie, because I'm so far removed from when I watched the show that I can watch like that 2-hour movie and like get my Entourage fix. And then, like,
it's
move
not
on.
a horrible movie. It's a movie
it's just
that you
more
could throw
Entourage.
on and fall asleep.
It's more Entourage, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's how every episode of Entourage is the same episode. It's just more Entourage.
Yeah. Entourage is a fucking good show. Like, it's one of the only shows that
like
I can
Ballers?
watch back episodes.
Going back to The Rock.
Ballers is like Entourage. I didn't like it because it seemed like we got Entourage at home.
I liked Ballers. I was a fan.
And there was another show that I think was on like BT before that was similar to Ballers, about athletes.
I'm pretty white. I haven't watched a lot of BET in my days. I don't remember any show like that.
Look into the hard camera. Do you think this man has watched BET? If you were a loved one and found this man watching BET in your house,
Dude.
you may be scarred for life.
Nah, but yeah, so the Many Saints of Newark, I'm still going to watch it. And I bet you I'll even enjoy it more than the people. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm not a real harsh critic on things. Like, I'll go see something like decent in the movies, and I'll really enjoy it. Like, I saw this movie Morgan. It's like not famous at all. It's like just like a.
What's it about?
It's like a sci-fi movie, bro. It's like this girl's like locked up, but she's got like powers, right? Like super generic plot. She's got to bust out. Like she's not a menace. You know what I mean? Super generic story. Like I watched it. I was probably high. I'm eating popcorn. I was like, this is fucking banging. This is a banging movie. It was like, oh, she's like, I'm getting invested in. Like she busts out the fucking door. Like I don't like sometimes when I watch like a movie that's supposed to be good, I'll like watch it and like watch it. But like when I watch like a shitty movie, I'll get like invested like that. Like, oh my god, you just fucking like I'm getting like crazy with it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm stupid though. I don't watch.
You're a
lot of
movie
stuff.
watcher.
Yeah, I'm a
Cinephile.
What you call it?
Cinephile.
Pedophile? No,
It's actually crazy because that is the word pedophile broken down. File means you're like obsessed, so that's why cinephile is a cinephile. Pedophile
what
is
does pedo mean?
it's something. It's like if you trace it back to the origins of the word, pedo means like kid or something. So it's like you're obsessed with children.
Instant beef with pedophiles, by the way.
Put it on the board.
Does that really have to be in writing?
Yeah.
No limit.
No limit.
Fuck them.
They come across, they get their name gets mentioned on the podcast, and we don't put them on the instant beef board. I'd have instant beef with myself. Go through the laptop before you write that down.
Let me see that search history, sir, real quick. The fucking Sky Hansen just walked, or Chris Hansen just walked in.
Underline it like 3 times.
If I just wrote like something else, I really wasn't putting it up there. That's a good list, bro. That's a solid fucking list. Now, is there anything on this list that can be debated? Podcast on Zoom.
Trash. Seriously, I'm not even going to mention them by name, but like a podcast that's way more famous than us, and I know that it's about the fucking stock market, and the dudes are both getting money. Like, why are you still doing a podcast on Zoom?
Yeah,
Why?
it's
you got enough bread. You got the resources. Like, there's no reason.
I
Just
guess
fucking meet up.
Their fans don't care about the integrity of the audio, but like me, like if I was watching that podcast and like they switched to Zoom only, I would stop listening. I can't do that. I need the audio to be like how our audio is, like always clean and crisp and clear. I can't have that fuzzy Zoom shit. But Cuomo Brothers, fuck them.
Yep.
Not here for hookup on Tinder. Like, you know, like
Easy one.
how could you even possibly type that into your bio? Like, how could you make a Tinder account and be like, I'm really not here for hookups? Like, who's trying to date? Get the fuck out of here. Above ground pools, absolute instant beef with them. Venmo cheapskates. Everyone hates people who are cheap with fucking Venmo. Mike Knox, instant beef from 2 weeks ago. And then pedophiles, yeah.
Definitely.
Pedophiles is a solid one. That's a classic.
Instant beef.
Then again, like, that's actually like a newer revelation. I feel like people were pedophiles back in the day. It was like a thing. Like, people just married 14-year-olds.
Yeah, but it wasn't considered negative.
That's what I mean. Like, pedophiles like a new thing. It's like, yeah, you gotta stop. But our ancestors were getting it. Look at that.
Dude, there is absolutely no way to transition from our hatred of pedophiles to the last topic.
Unless you want to revive
Who's
one.
a celebrity? No, who's a celebrity that's dead? Last topic is celebrity revival. Who's a celebrity that's dead that was a pedophile?
Michael Jackson?
Yeah, so he's not coming back. Boom. There's a good one.
Yeah, Michael Jackson's not coming back. Actual
shot.
instant beef.
Wait, why did I just see a thing the other day that said R. Kelly didn't kill himself? Did he?
No.
Are they even saying that he
They're
did?
probably just saying that already because he's
I
probably...
don't even think he's dead.
Oh, you know why? Because I saw a thing that said he was going to rat on people's names.
Okay.
That's exactly why. So now they're saying, like, hey, he didn't kill... Like, you know how, like, they say, like, Epstein didn't kill himself? They're just having the R. Kelly joke.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, like, we were kind of going into on the intro, but if you revive a celebrity, they're coming back to create content. So if I revive Elvis,
Right.
Elvis is coming back to make music. So am I reviving 44-year-old? Like, are they getting revived at the time they died? So, like, if Elvis died at 42,
Yeah, Freeze Chamber. They come back.
he comes back the
At
day,
42.
the next day.
Yeah, but it's 2021,
Correct.
not
But
19.
it would
whatever.
have been how he would have been the next day.
Exactly.
Okay.
Constipated.
So if Kurt Cobain comes back, he's got a head. There's
What happened to
There's
him?
not a bullet hole through his head.
Oh, he got shot in his head.
No, he shot himself in the head.
With a shotgun, though.
Yeah, he blew
his
it
shit
up.
was blown. It wasn't like he had a bullet in his head. His head was all over the room.
Controversial death. They said he might have got murdered. But yeah, he got domed with a shotgun.
Well, imagine if you brought him back, but he had the memory of what happened and he could rat on who did it, or
imagine
if he
he just
did it
came
himself.
back with the blown up head, but he was alive,
Like tongue,
and he was like a zombie.
like head like this, but tongue out in the middle, and he could talk.
Did you ever play The Last of Us?
Nah.
Okay, I'm a nerd. But
Left 4 Dead 2 on Xbox, banger.
Back 4 Blood comes out tomorrow. Well, I'm recording this podcast, it would have been like it's already out, and I'm probably grinding it. But it's a new Left 4 Dead game. So, all right, so they're gonna come back the day
Foot back
after.
on the table, no limit. Look at these freshly clipped toenails. You can't
For
roast me
some
today.
reason, I was talking about Eddie's Toe Jam earlier to somebody, and I can't remember actually. I can't remember who that was. Fuck. Oh well. But all right, so they come back the next day. Now, if it is somebody like Kurt Cobain, if I revive Kurt Cobain, like,
He's gonna start making music. What is your about?
what if he don't? Like, what if he comes back and he's like, I still don't want to do it, man. Like, let him like get up there. What if I waste
What do you mean
it?
he still don't want to do it? Did he die not wanting to make music?
Dude, he was a head case. I'm just saying, like,
They got way better medication
if John
for him.
Lennon, if I revive John Lennon, the Beatles are George Harrison's still dead, and Paul and Ringo
And
are on
that
the way
factors into your decision
out. So
making.
John
That's
Lennon's
probably
gonna be
why
all
he's not
hyped,
coming
like 40
back.
years old. Like, let's get the Beatles back together. And they're like, I'm tired. I got a colostomy bag. I can't tour.
So that factors into the decision. You don't pick
All
them
right,
people.
give me yours. You got one?
Eddie Guerrero. That I'm just kidding because I don't want to go into more wrestling, but I would bring back Eddie Guerrero.
I was like interested to hear it. I was like, I'm ready for more wrestling. I mean, dude, Eddie Guerrero's a good one.
Maybe this will be another topic for another day. If we could bring back one wrestler, who would it be? But we'll stick to celebrities.
Okay.
We'll stick to
Dude, the wrestling would be good too because they would have like a whole like entrance, like a whole like return. That'd be great.
Oh
All
my
right.
God, a wrestler coming back from the dead would
Dude,
be the
don't blow the
biggest
load.
pop.
Don't blow the load. Don't blow the load. Don't blow the load. Undertaker technically did it though, but don't. But
True.
Well, let's not go there because he actually didn't die. If this person actually died, that'd be incredible.
All right, celebrity. Did you even have one in mind? Because I don't have one in mind. Like I'm gonna be sitting here thinking on the spot of who to pick.
Dude, it's
trying to run through the decades, like who died in the
such a
90s, who
tough
died in the
choice.
2000s.
It's such a tough choice, but I have to go musician, right? Because I can't think of any. Like,
you know what? I got a good one. That's not musician.
Is this going to be your answer?
This is my answer.
And like, I mean, like celebrity. You can
because
vibe like a president.
I'm starting
anybody.
to think that your best. Yeah, really, it's just like a very known person.
Yeah, notable person.
That your best option is going to be bring back somebody who you like their art and you wish that they could continue to create it and also answer questions about the previous art they made.
Okay.
I'd bring back Stanley Kubrick so I could ask him questions about the movie Eyes Wide Shut. He could say, you know, what his direction with it was and where they changed it after he died. Because the final production got picked up by other people who used his notes to finish it. And also, he would come back with all the technology that we have today to film shit and make the greatest movies.
Yeah, could you imagine his comeback movie?
It would be insane.
It would be his Napoleon movie. He would come back and probably make Napoleon. It would just be like this unreal film. Because that was like, he was like researching Napoleon. He was going to make this like real like crazy good Napoleon movie, and he died. Actually, I think Steven Spielberg has since like picked it up and he's making it. I think it's Spielberg. Stanley Kubrick's a good one. Plus, he's got this stuff with. Did you ever see Room 237?
Yeah, he could watch that with you, tell you what's
like,
true, what's not.
Maybe he could like admit to like, yeah, I filmed the moon landing.
Yeah,
fake by the way.
I think so too, but
Tyler for another day. Yeah, I gotta go musician, but I want to. Dude, there's so many good choices. Like there's Jimi Hendrix, there's Jim Morrison.
Yeah, because you want to bring back somebody that's gonna do something.
Mac
you don't want to
Miller.
just bring back a guy that's gonna be like, hey.
See, Mac Miller seems like one that like you bring back and like he's already in tune with like. If I brought back Jimi Hendrix, he's got to like learn what like iPhones are. He's got to go through a whole lot before he figures out how to put an album out. Unless he's just great playing guitar, that's all he knows. But like Mac Miller would literally come back tomorrow and be like, all right, what beat was I working on?
Nah, for a dude like Hendrix, that's what he would do. He would be so talented that other people would figure that shit out. They'd be like, you just get in there and play guitar. Just get in the room and play
Actually,
guitar.
Screw all these nonsense people. I'm bringing back Jesus Christ. I'm 100% bringing back Jesus Christ. Danny Gonnett, any bull, the man who brought back Jesus Christ from the dead, dude. I'd be lifted into the. I would have a free ride to heaven.
Does that count though?
Yeah, it counts. A noble person.
You can't prove he was ever really here to begin with.
Yeah, it's in history books. That's real. Jesus Christ was a real person. Now, if I brought him back and he was like, nah, dude, I was just a regular bloke. I didn't do anything crazy.
We should have set we should have set parameters for the game that there has to be a picture taken of the person and not paint it. Not that you had to sit there for an hour while the camera rolled.
Why?
A picture taken.
He's a
of
real
him.
person. All right, he's got the shroud. He's got the shroud of Turin. That you know the it's the tail that they used when he was getting crucified. That has his face on it. Did you ever see it? It's a real thing.
It's like the fucking piece of the cross that was in the altar over at Mount Carmel.
Nah, dude, it's a real thing. We'll look it up after. But why I should be able to bring back Jesus Christ.
And why?
To just see what
you're bringing back another motherfucker who's just gonna sit there.
Imagine he was like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, you're the king. And he's like, no, it's just a carpenter. What are you talking about? I got fucking murdered at 33. I don't know what you're talking about. That would suck.
It would be sick even if it ended up like that just to hear the story.
His head would probably explode once he saw a fucking Ford F-150 anyway, because he's like 3,000 years old. He'd probably just shit himself and die.
His head would explode looking at these Nike flip-flops.
Like, what is this?
Like, I had the strap boys with the fucking tweed.
My soles were this thick. We had to carry rocks, damn it.
This thick? His soles were about this thick. He had a piece of paper under his foot.
Dude, oh my God, what a horrible time to be alive. Thank God we're alive when we can just do shit like this. Like, look at all the shit that we have at our disposal. Like, lights, water, like, computers. They had to, like, travel for, like, water. Like, that was, like, their day. Like, I'm gonna walk 8 hours to go get water. I'll see you tonight.
That was the best life you ever could have had.
That's
if
crazy.
You ask me.
Really?
What do you wake up and do for 8 hours?
Anything.
Exactly. When you had something to really do back then like that, like, what are you doing today? You're going to get water and make sure you eat. Banging day.
First of all, you're wrong. The fact that I can wake up
Now,
and
when it
accomplish...
starts raining, it gets a little shitty. But when the weather's nice, you get like 4 or 5 days
you're
straight, and you're just going to get the water
fact that, like,
hunting.
you probably got to go out
A1.
and like fight off hyenas and like coyotes. Like, you really got to brace the elements. You just rocking off on me like that? Oh, he's hitting the cameras? It wasn't recording?
No, it was.
I was gonna say, didn't you double check?
Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
Got corrected.
Yeah, Mary Magdalene, bring her back.
You can't pick two.
She was a hoe.
He don't come back with his girl. He comes back alone.
He's coming back stag? He's coming back stag all alone? That's fucked up. You're gonna have to walk into this mess all alone?
He probably got mad testosterone though. You think that thing's true about
Losing it?
like how it's
Over
like
time?
getting halved and halved and halved and halved, like the average amount that men
Yeah.
have?
Yeah, 100%.
It'll be a sad day.
That's why MGK and fucking Harry Styles are like the men's like icons right now. Like, those dudes are like half women.
You think? They're tonguing people down on the red carpet.
Oh no, I know, but I'm pretty sure I saw Harry Styles dressed like the Princess of Wales on the red carpet. Like, I'm pretty sure he had like puffy shoulder dress with like feathered hair and like hoop earrings. Like, I'm pretty sure he was dressed like a queen. Like, I'm pretty sure I just saw that.
How much you got to be paid to wear something like that?
As much as he's
Or you
getting
just
paid.
got to be a fake, a robot, a deep fake.
No, I think that like that flamboyant culture is just like taking over like Hollywood.
Dude, some of
So that's,
the
like, popular out there.
NFL referees, like the way they talk when they announce the calls, I would think they're robots.
You just do that because you're better.
Yeah,
Just get fucking shit fixed.
I hate the referees. It actually is so bad. Maybe we'll have another topic of them one day.
Refs,
but,
we
like,
can talk about NBA
they're
refs back
so
in the day
bad.
for actually fucking throwing games.
They're so terrible. But I ain't got nothing else to say on the last topic.
I'm gonna say-
you want to ride us out?
All right, so if I can't give you Jesus Christ, I'm just gonna give you Jim Morrison. There you go. It's my answer. Final answer. Oh shit, Beast. I actually
There he
forgot that
is.
was there. You wouldn't bring that dude back?
To be honest with you, I haven't heard I probably have heard, but I don't know any of his songs.
That's a crime. No. On that note, on that front, I got nothing.
All right. Well, that's going to be it for this episode of the podcast. Wait a second. Actually, let me start sending us off. I wanted to do like a little ritual here
Okay.
because we are coming down to the end of days in here. So for the last few episodes, we've seen this suitcase up here behind me. I'm going to symbolize the end of this era by packing away the first item into the suitcase. That's been it for the No Limit Podcast, episode 49. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
One more second.
Love yous.